Hello and welcome back. Now we've just spent all this time and effort creating this character, and we've used the Bellica skeletal mesh. But what happens when you grow tired of looking at Bellica and you want a different mesh? Do we have to go through all that work again? And the answer to that question is no, absolutely not. We can use all of that work we put into the Bellica character, and we can apply this to a different character with a different skeleton. We're going to do that in this video. Now, in order to reuse all of our work on a different skeletal mesh with a different skeleton, we're going to need a different character. So let's go to the marketplace, and I'm going to search for Paragon, and I'm going to choose another Paragon character. I think I'll go ahead and go with Twin Blast. And the reason I'm going to go with Twin Blast is because this character has 2 guns, and we could always use more guns because we're developing a shooter game. That means not only do we get a gun skeletal mesh with Twin Blast, but Twin Blast will also have particle systems for firing the weapons, so we can use those as well. So whichever character you use, we're going to add this to our project. So download a Paragon character, and once you've downloaded it, click Add to Project and choose our shooter game. Here's my shooter game. I'm going to click Add to Project. Now, once we've completed the process of adding this character to our project, then we'll go into our project and scroll down in the content browser, and we'll now see the new folder. Since I added Twin Blast, I now have a Paragon Twin Blast folder. I'm going to double click in here on Characters, Heroes, Twin Blast, and in the Meshes folder, I'm going to see the Twin Blast skeletal mesh. I'm going to double click on this, and it's going to take a few minutes to load the Twin Blast. So once it's done compiling shaders and loading all the materials, we'll get to see what Twin Blast looks like. So here we have Twin Blast, and you can see that there is a gun right here, just like Bellica has. We can even search for the weapon, and you'll see that there's a weapon L and a weapon R. So there's actually a pair of guns. If you bring the weapon L bone up, you'll see that there are actually 2 weapons. Now, a couple things to notice. If you look at the asset details, here are the material slots, and the guns are actually in element 2. The Twin Blast pistol material is assigned to element 2. So we're going to need to take that into account as Bellica uses element 4 for the guns on the Bellica mesh. But we have the Twin Blast character, and we can retarget Bellica's animation blueprint over to this character as long as retargeting is possible. And retargeting will be possible if we set up Twin Blast skeleton to use the same rig. Now let's go into the skeleton tab here, and we can go to the retarget manager. And here where it says set up rig, we can select the rig by hitting the drop down and choosing select humanoid rig. Now go ahead and click save, and now Twin Blast is using the humanoid rig. Twin Blast has the same skeleton structure as Bellica. All the Paragon humanoid character assets share this skeleton, which makes it easy to retarget and share animations. So now that Twin Blast is using the humanoid rig, we can retarget the shooter and MVP. So why don't we go ahead and go into character, and here we have our shooter and MVP. Now I'm going to hit save all before we do this, just so everything is saved. When you're about to do something big like this, you want everything to be saved just in case there's a crash. So now that we've saved, I'm going to right click on shooter and MVP and go to retarget anim blueprints, duplicate anim blueprints, and retarget. Now we can select Twin Blast skeleton, but you'll see that Twin Blast's default pose is a T pose. Remember, it has to match Bellica's A pose. So we need to fix that. So go ahead and close this. Go back to Twin Blast Skeleton. Now you can see that he looks like he's in an A pose. Go to the Retarget Manager, click Modify Pose, and use Current Pose. Now click Save, and this time he should be in the A pose. Now we can test this out with a single animation. Let's try one of these, such as Aiming Pose. Right-click, Retarget Anim Assets, duplicate Anim Assets and Retarget, and select Twin Blast Skeleton. And now you'll see that Twin Blast is in the A pose. Go ahead and click Retarget. Here it is in the Content folder, and if we open it, we'll see that Twin Blast is in this aiming pose. Now, you can see that some of the joints look a little wonky. So go to the skeleton tree, click the drop down, show retargeting options, and for the root, right-click, recursively set translation retargeting to skeleton. Now select the pelvis and set the pelvis to animation scaled, and set the root to follow the animation. Now the joints should all look pretty much correct. Okay, so we can see that retargeting has worked, so we can close that. And I'll go ahead and just delete this new retargeted animation. I'm going to click Force Delete. And now I'll go back to Character. So we're ready to retarget Shooter Anim BP. Right-click, Retarget Anim Blueprints, duplicate Anim Blueprints, and retarget. Select the Twin Blast skeleton and click Retarget. Okay, and once retargeting has finished, you'll see all these assets now in the Content folder. The first thing you need to do is click Save All. So we have a lot of new assets here to save. Click Save Selected and make sure all this progress is saved. Now we can stick all of these into a folder specifically for Twin Blast. So let's create a new folder on the Character folder. And let's call this Twin Blast. Now back in the Content folder, select all of these new assets and move them to the Twin Blast folder. Click Move here. Okay, so once everything is moved into our new Twin Blast folder, we have all of our assets here. Now take a look and you'll see that we have a lot of retargeted animations, and even our blend spaces have been retargeted along with our aim offsets. Now something you'll notice that's missing are the montages. We're going to have to go and retarget those montages individually. So go back into the Character/Animations folder, and we're going to go ahead and retarget the Equip montage, the Hipfire montage, and the Reload montage. So let's start with the Equip montage. Again, I'm going to click Save All, and then I'm going to right-click on Equip montage, retarget Anim Assets, duplicate Anim Assets, and retarget. Now I'll select Twin Blast Skeleton and retarget. Now we see that we have our Equip montage along with Equip Rifle Standing, an animation that's used with this montage. Let's go back into Character/Animations and retarget the Hipfire montage. Right-click and retarget this now, selecting Twin Blast. Now we have our retargeted montage along with our primary Fire Fast Trimmed animation retargeted as well. Back to the Animations folder, let's scroll down and get our Reload montage. Go ahead and retarget this one, selecting Twin Blast and retarget. And we have all three montages retargeted now. I'm going to select all of these new assets and move them to our Twin Blast folder. So we'll move it over here and click Move Here. Okay, we've moved everything over. I'm going to click Save All and Save Selected. Now we have all the animation assets retargeted over to Twin Blast. In the next video, we're going to set up the Twin Blast character blueprint and see if we can start playing the game as Twin Blast. I'll see you in the next video.